When we talk about stress management, the importance of that is releasing those stress cycles. So you have an event in which something is causing stress. That cycle begins, and your nervous system will hang on to that until you release it. But we're not very good at stress management. I certainly wasn't either. And that's what led to my burnout is stress cycle after stress cycle of not releasing them. And they began to pile and compound. Now, what I found out is some stress management techniques and tools that people are suggesting just didn't fit me and my wiring. And I realized that using DISC behavioral science, we can actually align stress management techniques and tools to our style, making it more successful and sustainable to release those stress cycles. And when it comes to managing energy, let's not exhaust ourselves in that process. I'm going to have a video for each work style. D's or dominance are red, are fast movers, results orientated type of people. I's, influence, are yellows, those social people that loves to have a voice. S are supportives, the greens. Those in the background, a little more introverted, but they love to help other people. And C's, compliance, are blues. Again, a little more introverted, but they're data detailed orientated. Let's focus on D, dominance, are reds, are fast movers. When stress rises, momentum gets stalled or blocked, and that causes another level of stress on top of the event of stress that was already happening. So some things in stress management that cause them to lose more energy is slow, passive stress tools that aren't providing results fast enough. These styles need motion before reflection. So if you're forcing journaling and meditation and mindfulness before that motion, you're forcing behaviors that just feel clunky. It feels like it's more work. So when you're talking about stress management, you want more action-orientated relaxation and reset tools. Let's talk about relaxation. Now, for dominance or Ds, you're fast movers and you're always results orientated, always for the next goal. So this doesn't come easy, that rest, relaxation, unless you have all this stimulation around you. I often found myself as a D type of work style, having my work laptop open or having something streaming on the TV at the same time while I relax on the couch. And while in moderation that might help reset you, in the grand scheme of stress management and energy management, it might not exactly be what you need. So as a D dominance, you might need to interact with different relaxation and reset type of techniques and tools. So for example, this type of environment of having your body rest while streaming or working might be okay in micro moments, but maybe what you need is a little bit different type of relaxation that's a lot more active. So what I'm talking about is maybe just walking. And walking with a little less stimulation. So no podcasts or music in your ears, just hearing the environment around you. It could be stretching on the floor with a timer. So again, you get that little competitive edge. You get a little bit of stimulation that's not overstimulating. But what you're doing is you're stretching, you're getting your body to rest, to reset, get your nervous system a little bit more open without being bored. That's what I felt like when I would try yoga or just try to sit in stillness and repair my relationship with space. I'm a fast mover, but I also recognize that my nervous system needs a break sometimes. So that active relaxation was a good moderate flow instead of just streaming things on my TV, because this type of space where I'm sitting physically and then there's no stimulation, it felt off to me. It felt like a mismatch. The other thing that I found is if I didn't like silence, I didn't need to bog my nervous system down with more. So again, I would put on podcasts or stream or be on my laptop multitasking, and my nervous system just needed kind of a break. So putting on instrumental music satisfied that system that I had, that I want to be doing things, I want the noise, but my nervous system doesn't. And so putting on instrumental music where there isn't someone talking, interpreting type of lyrics, just music. It could be classical, it could be indie, it could be acoustic, whatever instrumental music you want to put on might be a good alternative if you are having troubles like I was with space and silence. Now, what you want to avoid is forced stillness. When I was starting my burnout recovery, and recognized I needed to do less. I didn't need to do more. And retraining those patterns, it was very difficult. I would put that as my top 5 biggest hurdles to overcome was my relationship with space and stillness. And it's because that's not how I'm wired. I like to be busy. I like to be active, and that's great. But also, my nervous system in those really stressed states needs to release and not be overstimulated. So I recognized I was forcing this. I was forcing just sit on the couch, don't have anything on the TV, no noise, and be mindful, practice meditation, and it just didn't fit. So what I found is that was actually working against me. It was costing me energy versus regaining it or reclaiming it. So be careful of what you're forcing. If it feels kind of like that messy middle, but like you kind of like it or you feel the improvement the next day, maybe keep on that path. But if it feels mismatched, which means very forced, and the next day you don't feel good, you actually feel more drained, then that's maybe something that's we should reroute and not force this stillness, but put on that instrumental music, or maybe go for the walk, but no extra stimulation in our ears. Maybe stretch on the floor with the timer. And we're aligning to how we're naturally wired, feeding that busy body, but also giving our nervous system time to relax. Let's talk about a common habit that might happen in the kitchen, and it's actually aiding in reducing your energy versus reclaiming it and piling on to those stress cycles. So one common habit that happens with high Ds, so that's our dominants, our reds, is skipping meals, right? Because it might not be seen as productive, or they have to do this and then they have to do that, and they're so focused on the result that they're actually skipping meals. And that's causing more stress onto your nervous system that it doesn't need right now. The other thing that might be happening is overdoing on the caffeine. And it might just seem like I just need one little cup of coffee, one little more push, but then you get that afternoon crash. And that's where you kind of get into the stress cycles piling on one another, because what your body's saying is, I'm going over my capacity line. And instead of honoring it, we just pick up another cup of coffee. And I definitely felt this, especially being in the manufacturing environment, where every meeting you would go into, you would also have a fresh cup of coffee. So sometimes I would hit the afternoon around 3 o'clock and feel super sluggish and realize like I've had 4 cups of coffees today. And it all started at 5 in the morning when I woke up, right? So that's kind of pushing your system past its capacity limits. So understanding that skipping meals, this extra caffeine is not aiding in your energy recovery, and it's also not allowing those stress cycles to release and move on in a healthy way. So what you want to do is obviously limit your caffeine, even exchanging out 1 cup for tea, hot water, something that proves to your brain like I still have this habit, it's just not the same zapping type of energy reducer. The other thing that you want to think about is stress release type of food. So because you like to go and you like to be a busy body, you want to focus on protein packed type of foods. That's going to keep you full longer and have the right energy and nutrients that your busy body needs to keep going. Simple meals, right? So you don't see value at times with meals that take you an hour and a half to make. So you want to focus on 2-3 type of ingredient type of meals when you home cook. It will make it a lot more simpler to not only eat cleaner so your body can keep going, but also it limits the amount of time that you're actually cooking. Now, one thing you want to try to avoid is the grazing. You probably already recognize this the moment I said that G word, grazing, is you like to snack and you'll nibble, and then you don't have to spend time on big meals, or you're always moving, so you're just continually snacking and not having an actual nutritious meal. So recognize that that's a natural behavior that happens in your type of disc work style because you're always busy. So try to avoid some of that grazing by having those simple protein-packed meals that will keep your energy up without straining the stress cycles you already have going on. Stress will loop differently depending on your disc style. So understanding how to reduce that cognitive load is going to help release that cycle. So for a high D, they need a decisive reset. And what I mean there is they need to make one delayed decision, or they need to clear their task list to just 3 things max, because they're going to want to do everything on that to-do list. So they're actually having more of that decision fatigue when they're talking about stress, because stress management just seems like another thing that they have to do. So you need to really see the reset as the main task here. So you're going to delay one decision. It's not super urgent. It's not super important. You're going to delay it out, schedule it out, or delegate it. You might establish your 3 priorities for the day, and that's going to be your task list so that you don't get bombarded with everything that's in front of you right now, because you're going to want to do it all. So having those 3 priorities is really going to focus you. Setting up your desk, organizing your workspace, your lifestyle, even at home, to those 3 tasks is also going to help that cognitive load really focus at the task at hand. Now, when you visually declutter this type of space to just the 3 priorities, it's going to not only feel like you're making progress, but you're hitting the results that you want to, because you don't have all those distractions and those pings and pongs throughout the day. Stress doesn't disappear when you ignore it. It releases those stress cycles when you find the right exit for it. Energy management isn't about doing more, it's about aligning where that natural release can happen.